Yes. Oh, what a great mood setter for the morning. Thank you, Unity Band. Well, good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing. I'm Reverend Sharon Ketchum, and so happy to welcome you here today. And welcome to those of you that are joining us online. We know what today is, Star Wars Day. May the Fourth be with you. So, yes. I couldn't find my lightsaber. I must have got lost in the fiber. Anyway, if you are joining us online, say hello. There's a little chat thing there. You can just type in, somebody will answer you. Jane, are you answering today? Oh, yes. Okay. She's our online usher, if you will. So if you're with us for the first time, a special welcome. I hope you got a little thing of popcorn to thank you for popping in, and hope you'll avail yourself. Free coffee and snacks over there. Just help yourself at any time. It is self-serve. And by the way, we have great opportunities for you to increase your coffee skills by joining our hospitality team to make things ready for Sunday mornings. We are, besides coffee drinking, we are also a great prayer ministry. So if you have anything heavy on your heart or light on your heart, celebrate or concern, we have a prayer box over there. We have a prayer team that will pray with you for the next 30 days. Then we forward it down to Silent Unity for another 30 days of prayer. So I know you're the one going through it, but know that you're not going through it alone. Before I go any further, do you see this shot there? That's our backyard. And I have to tell you about divine order. The guys are going to mow last week, on Thursday, but then it rained. And because it rained, it didn't get mowed. So look what happened. We had this glorious field of gold with all the dandelions. It was just, it was just so beautiful. The bees are so happy. It just totally looks beautiful. Let's affirm our mission statement together. We spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, with each other, and with all creation. And this comes out of that vision of seeing a world powerfully transformed through a growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And I am so happy to welcome Deb and Eddie in here this morning. Deb hasn't been able to make it in here for so long. Hi. Oh, welcome the two of you. Oh, welcome to the new home. Yes. Yeah, just like you. It's so good. Two beautiful people. She's been watching us online, so it's so good for her to have us here in person this morning. So as we look at our own spiritual development, we understand it's not a right and perfect path, but it's about honoring the path we're on, where we're on that path, and allowing others that same freedom. One light, but many lamps. So let's affirm together. The enlightenment of the Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. Just let you take it away.
All right. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, is in this very room.
As we acknowledge that truth of the love, the spirit, the power that is within us and in this room right now at a great time to pray for others around the world. We all have our own prayer requests that are on our hearts, friends, situations that we know about. And the two that probably stand out for me this week is just getting humanitarian aid into Gaza. You know, that humans there need basics, they need food. And the other thing, to hold that consciousness of peace for the Ukraine. And we're all in that consciousness where it's a race consciousness of humanity. So the more peaceful we can become, the more interactive we can become, the more connected. And I thought, one of the things that sometimes keeps me from it is this thing of other.
Because I think Luke learned how to pick, mentally raise rocks and stack them. Then he raised himself, learned how to float in the. It was pretty cool.
Well, telekinesis, there are people that say they can do it, and
Well, people can affect mentally
Yeah.
objects, and this is
Yeah.
demonstratable.
Yeah.
Like the. Anyway, that's
plants and all that.
so there is
so why
evidence
not?
for it, but there's a lot of mainstream scientific resistance.
And I guess if we were out of our ego, we'd really say, teach us to be so peaceful all the time,
yeah,
no
inner
matter what,
peace.
that there is no antagonist.
I like that. No, Yoda was awesome. So should we welcome everybody?
Yeah,
Is it
let's
time?
do that.
All right. Okay, we're all going to feel welcome in just a second. If you're not already, you already are. Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. Did you know you're one with God for eternity? Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. You're not a stranger anymore, now you're family. Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. Did you know you're one with God for eternity? Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. You're not a stranger anymore, now you're family. Truthfully.
I am your platform assistant for today. And may the 4th be with you. Did you guys know that R2-D2 had Tourette syndrome? Yeah, they had to beep out all of his lines. That's true. And what do you call a droid that always takes the long way around? An R2 detour. All right, well, for today, our daily word is compassion. And this is inspired by Paul's letters to the Colossians. He said, "Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience." Now, we may struggle to feel compassionate, especially when we feel angry. If another's hurtful words or hostile actions seem cruel to us or unjust, we may feel tempted to respond in kind. However, striking back does not end the conflict, nor does it heal the relationship. Instead, as we turn within and feel Christ's mind dissolve our anger, we then feel calm. As those breakthrough moments, we remember anger doesn't satisfy anyone or solve any problems. Regardless of how justified we may feel expressing our upset, it is within our power to choose compassion instead. Did you write this for me? I feel like you wrote this just for me. We will not reciprocate others' hostility. Instead, we will look beyond their anger and see their struggles. We need not approve their choices, but we can still see them as children of God today and every day. Wow, I got chills from that. All right, let us affirm together. I clothe myself in thoughts of compassion. Wow. Okay, May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Now, that's a rather broad term. I mean, that covers like more than half the world, right? Asian Pacific encompasses all of the Asian continent and the Pacific islands of Malaysia and Polynesia. Asian Pacific Islander is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of the Far East, Southeast Asia, and Indian subcontinent, and the Pacific Islands. This includes people from China, Japan, Korea, the Philippine Islands, American Samoa, India, and Vietnam. Their theme for this year is a legacy of leadership and resilience. Now, May was chosen to coincide with two important milestones in the Asian Pacific American history: the arrival in the United States of the first Japanese immigrants, and that was May 7th, 1843, and the contributions of Chinese workers to the building of the Transcontinental Railroad, which was completed May 10th, 1869. Long time ago. The completion of the Transcontinental Railroad significantly impacted the United States by facilitating faster and more efficient transportation of goods and people. This was boosting the economy and accelerating the westward expansion. But it also intensified conflicts with the Native Americans by disrupting their natural life cycle. The railroad reduced travel time, stimulated industry and production, and fostered the national identity by connecting different regions. The railroads were really a big part of what made the United States united. Thank you to our Chinese American friends who made this massive contribution to the growth of our nation. So thank you. And now, thank you to Greg Denning for his...
See, I'm going to be gone
His
for
song.
2 weeks, so everybody gets a lot of me today. I hope that's not a bad thing. The songs I'm doing today, both of them seem to be about gardening and planting and that kind of thing, but you can look a little deeper and there's lots of metaphysics going on. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless the seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, man is made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause time is close at hand. Rainfall, rain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching hungrily from his perch yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless the seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Thank you.
Oh, that's a wonderful earworm. As Greg said, him and his newly retired wife, Jill, are off to Europe for 2 weeks. So if somebody is moved to do song leading for the next 2 weeks, God knows who's going to do it. I've been forbidden from the FCC, but I'm having my singing voice recorded. So, you wouldn't want ICE to come in here and take me down. The other thing I messed up on, sometimes logistics. There's an announcement about this later, but I need to tell you now because I want to pass these cards around. Jessica Shelton's been our office manager for 8 years, and she had a baby in January, the end of January, and she's not coming back after maternity leave. She's looking at some other things for her life. So I have a couple cards I thought I'd pass around if anybody wants to write a goodbye wish. I figure it'd be easier to just pass them at the tables. There's pens on the table. So I'm going to do that, and you'll hear more about it later. So what can I tell you? Now that we get all the business done, we can go into a message for the day. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I had an unexpected absence when one of my family members died, so I missed a chapter from The Power of Now. We were doing a series on The Power of Now up to Easter. And it was such an important chapter, I didn't want to let it go because it was about relationships. And our whole thing here at Unity is spiritual awakening to our oneness. Well, the relationships are about our relationships with God, with each other, with all creation. So how could we possibly let that one go to really get the gist of all this? So, and then I thought, well, and the fourth be with you, pay a pun on the word fourth and force. And that's really relationships. There is a force between us as individuals. I know, Deb, you watch us at home, but it feels different in here with us, doesn't it? I mean, it's just different being in person, because there's energy, that tangible energy that we share with each other, that we lift each other up with. So kind of tie a little Star Wars in with Eckhart Tolle today. I'm sure neither of them will mind. Ben Kenobi said, follow your feelings, trust your feelings. The force is an energy field created by all living things. I mean, this we know, right? It surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds a galaxy together. So we're talking about relationships. We're talking about the micro and the macro, just absolutely the whole of it. Relationships might kind of be our last frontier. Jim Rosemerg, a Unity minister, he wrote that humankind's last frontier is also its first. It is the kingdom that is within us. All our explorations, mountains, seas, space, and even the exploration of our bodies are preparations for our time when we will venture within ourselves. Wow. Different perspective on the race to the moon, the race to Mars, all in prep so we can really go into that deep last frontier within us, to really own, make friends with, have a relationship with that divine part of us that each of us is. I mean, God does not make garbage. We are all have a spark of that divinity within us. One light, but many lamps. We are each a lamp. Relationships are kind of paradoxical in that it's something we need to do by ourselves. But this do-it-yourself thing is so much better when we're in community. There's some other things in life that are like that. Birth. You can only be born yourself. There's around others helping you. It's the same way when we die. I mean, we can have all kinds of support that does help us, but it's something we need to do ourselves. So relationships show up in so many ways all through our life. There's an old saying that says, a log has to burn itself, but the one next to it will help. Isn't that what it is with us in the community? We each have to bring our own light, but the lights next to us do help. They empower us, they strengthen us, they affirm us as we do to others that are around us. So Tolle in his book said, unless and until you access the conscious frequency of presence, all relationships, and particularly intimate relationships, they're all deeply flawed and ultimately dysfunctional. Does anybody have a fully functional relationship? I mean, we may have moments of functionality. We puts the fun and things a little dysfunctional. And it's a really interesting thing to explore, because even if we go with our very basic one, our relationship with our body, when our body is pain-free and we're moving and not limited, it's the greatest thing going, better than sliced bread. But then it starts talking back to us, or it entertains a flu or a cold or an ache or a pain or a dis-ease. And all of a sudden, it's a little rockier in our relationship. When life is going well, our relationship with God is pretty smooth. When things get a little bumpy, there can be a little distance in there. It can be a lot of distance sometimes. We live in a relative world. Unity talks about the absolute as the absolute truth, the truth that is unchanging. But we live in the relative world, which has dimensionality, which everything seems to be measured in relationship to something else. And so our relationships have this relativity quality to it, which makes it a little confusing, also makes it a little interesting too, like multi-hued, if you will. You think about it, we're born, and immediately we have this relationship with our caregiver, whoever that is. And then we go to school and we start having relationships with our peers. And then we get into our teens and the hormones, and all of a sudden we have romantic relationships. And all of these have great drama and great other stuff. The love-hate coin, or the opposite love, whatever that might be for us. There's a struggle, there's a strain, because the other person refuses to adhere to our script in life. And it's frustrating, but we love them. Why don't they do exactly what we want? Duh. So, question is really, is love like a faucet? Can it be turned on and off? Can we love our body some days and not love it the others? Can we love family or friends or partner some days and then turn it off on the other day as a punishment for the way they behaved because they weren't behaving the way that we wanted them to? Well, in our ego love, that's really what we think, that somehow we can withhold our love. It's absolutely impossible. Can you withhold your breath? Try it. You might get, I don't know if you're really good, maybe 3 minutes in, but most of us, maybe 20, 30 seconds, and then we just have to. The same way with love. You may try to hold it in, but the absolute love, that vibration of connectedness, cannot be stopped, can't be turned off. So when we're in our ego, the ego is so reflective of how we perceive in our relationship to the rest of our world that we do have these illusions that somehow we can stop loving, that somehow other people can stop loving too. I mean, not just us. If I can stop, so can they. And boy, that creates some anxiety. Why didn't so-and-so call me today? Aren't they my friend anymore? I walked right by so-and-so in the supermarket and they didn't even nod. Wow, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? I mean, we've all had those thoughts. But absolute love has no opposite. It has no idea of lack. It is just a continuing, connected, the force of the universe, what binds the whole galaxies together. I think we enter into relationships because there's something in us that has a sense of something missing. There was when you're in high school, there's this awful thing about you're going to find that one, they're the other half, they're going to complete you, the better half. Why did we ever come up with that language? That is just so bizarre. If we're not whole, we will never find another half to fill us in. We may find stuff that augments us, but not that completes us in that sense, except in the mind of the ego, where things are so relative that somehow we have to strive to be worthy, that somehow we have to become something other than who we are. The car washes, they say touch-free wash as you go through. Relationships, there is no touch-free relationship. You are going to feel. You are going to have responses. You are going to be very human in some of our responses. Yeah, I am there too. And those verbal attacks that we give. Did you ever get into a really good argument that you were so clever you walked away satisfied in that moment? And then later you go, oh. And especially if you're a parent, manipulating kids with our love. I remember I used to drive my daughter to high school and it was a little ways. And she would say to me, Mother, I can hear you breathing. About days of this, and finally I said, someday you'll wish you could hear me breathe. I tried to hold it in, but oh, yeah. I mean, this is an ego response in a relationship. Yeah. She still remembers it, and she's going to be 40 in a couple months. Yeah, okay. Relationships are risky business. They really are. I mean, we all have been through times when a relationship could be a friendship, could be a partnership, could be a family member that after that you go, that's it, I'm through with relationships. That's it. It hurts too much. It's risky to put yourself out there. Relationships do not cause pain. All they do is bring out the pain that is already within us. Hear that really clearly. Relationships don't cause pain. The pain is already there. We are just lucky enough to come into relationship with somebody that's going to help us deal with that pain, help us bring it out and get it healed. It's that yearning for wholeness, wholeness in the sense of healing, looking for that way to heal. that we forget what it is that we're seeing when we're in relationship with another person. You know, and we got lots of practice about the pain. Physically, we're separated at birth. I mean, I can't remember it, but it's certainly, except when I was birthing, not when I was being birthed, but in birthing, that's got to be really traumatic to your one and only home you've ever known in your memory. To lose it, boom, like that. You're shot out into this cold, cruel world. They're poking you, and there's noise, and there's lights, and all this stuff you hadn't seen before. Psychologically, our sense self says, you're you and I'm me. We're somehow separate. So that's kind of risky. We could be alone. Seems like everybody else is together, but it's us separate, that illusion of our oneness here, of our singularity, not in the oneness. And mentally, I don't know where we have these beliefs, but they seem to be very universal, that we need to be put back together again like Humpty Dumpty. I don't know when we got dropped and broken. Maybe it was just chips along the way. But we have this sense that instead of a chip that allows the next thing to grow out, like a nutshell breaking, so the seed can grow and become a tree, that somehow we're broken and it's a bad thing, as opposed to that opportunity for growth. We do have some stinking thinking going on from time to time. Very often in mainstream religion, they talk about salvation, and there's this need for salvation, to earn salvation. And it's always presented like some kind of future thing that we could get to, that we could strive to. But salvation metaphysically just simply is meaning the overcoming of our mistaken beliefs. And it's nothing that we need that exists in the future, it exists right now. Every time we overcome a misunderstanding of the absolute truth, of the reality of love, of the reality of oneness, we have salvaged part of our salvation. We have salvaged part of the truth of who we are. So we'll go into the anxiety of relationships. There's Qui Gon Jinn. He's a Jedi master in Star Wars. And he said, don't center on your anxieties, Obi-Wan. See, this is Obi-Wan's teacher. Keep your concentration here and now where it belongs. He read totally too. Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Your focus determines your reality. What we focus on grows. What we focus on grows. Time and time again, we hear this put in many different ways. And we choose our focuses every day. And as we choose our focus, I find the great paradox of life is because genetically, we brought with us all the things from the time physicality of man became human, that in order to survive when we were primitive, we needed to know what was wrong in the environment to save our life. That gene has stayed with us. And more often than not, we are more likely to recognize what is wrong with a situation, with a person, with an exchange, than we are to celebrate all the things that went right. You have this huge party, this huge celebration, pitcher of punch spilled. Everything else was perfect, and everybody enjoyed it. And all you can think about is a spilled pitcher of punch. That's our challenge to get over. That's our challenge to get over. And I catch myself doing it all the time. I go home and go, oh, why isn't that in the garbage? Well, what about all the things that are in the garbage? No, I'm going to notice the one thing that is not in the garbage, right? So it's a big challenge here not to get anxious based on our biological underpinnings that kind of send us that way. There is no longer a lion around the corner waiting to get us. We no longer need to have that kind of focus and to be conscious enough to overcome that kind of built-in response to things. Relationships are really a spiritual practice. My first Unity minister, I just remember Reverend Donna Easter. She was single, she was divorced, single, and she goes, I know God is always with me, but I really want God with skin on. And that's the truth. I mean, we're all God with skin on. When we relate, we're relating to God. We are the hands and feet of God on earth. We did that. We talked about that song in class on Tuesday. It's an old song. We are the voice. We are the body, here to do the work. So our relationships, all of them, become a reflection of our relationship with the divine. Oh, yes, sorry, I forgot to tell you. I want to tell you this story. Abraham Lincoln told this story one time. Some people, he said there was a man that he was out walking, and it was dark, and there was this huge thunderstorm on, and there was lightning, and then there was thunder, lightning and thunder, and it's dark, and he's out on this bridge, and there's this creek, and every now and then you can get a flash of the bridge, but you can't see the whole thing, and it's kind of scary about going in. And finally he looks up and he says, God, if it's the same with you, give me more light and less noise. And isn't that what we want with our relationships? More light and less of those primitive noises about what's wrong. More light into all the things that are great. More light into all the things that are fun, that are nourishing to both of us. Relationships truly are a mirror. I mean, we cannot see in another person what is not already within ourselves. There's exercises we've done about that, be it good or be it things that are distasteful to us. We can't see the greatness of somebody until we can see it in ourselves, just as we can't see the damaged parts in somebody unless we can see, we have it already within ourselves. Otherwise, we don't know it. So relationships constantly reveal hidden parts of ourselves. Maybe that's why we're in relationship, so we can find all of us, piece by piece, seed by seed, grow by grow. So when we get into a relationship, there's going to be crisis. And of course, crisis is that Japanese or Chinese word that means danger and opportunity. You know, playing it safe, none of us want to stay in the same place all the time. There's this yearning, this movement, this creative force that moves us forward. So entering into a relationship, yeah, there can be some struggle. We could be embarrassed. We might feel we don't have enough skills for whatever kind of relationship it is. But it's only in those risks that we actually be able to grow. This is, if you remember anything from today, this is what I'd like you to remember, that relationships make us conscious, not happy. Relationships are there to make us conscious. They're not there to make us happy. Okay? There's a Lovers and Other Strangers used to be an old radio show. One night they told a story about this guy that found a book with a piece of paper written in a very old piece of paper, and it told how to find a touchstone. And touchstones were something supposedly the alchemists used to turn metal into stone. And the difference was when you found a touchstone, it was warm to the touch. So, I got the secret. So he went out, he went down the beach, and he kept picking up stones, trying to find that stone that was warm to the touch. And so they didn't duplicate his efforts. As he picked up a stone, if it was cold, he threw it into the ocean so he wouldn't pick it up again. He did this day after day, week after week, month after month. And one day he went down, he picked up a stone, and it was warm. And out of habit, he threw it back in. How many times do we do that? We finally get through that, all the relationship pitfalls. But because in the past, that relationship has showed us so much of our pain, so much of our imperfections, that this too, we threw it away before we even realized that this was the touchstone to our heart. This was the warmth for us. That happens when our mind is in the future. When we're in the present, just think, if he had picked up that stone and was really present with the stone, he wouldn't have thrown it. But we get to that human habit of just responding. Too tired of thinking, so let's just respond and throw it back in. In relationships, one of my habits of my 20s was to fall in love with a person's potential. Anybody else ever do that? I knew who they could be. Now think about that. If that's my mirror, I'm really knowing who I can be. But because they weren't who I know they could be, they were doing it wrong, right? Yeah, there we go. There we go. So we're the touchstone of our relationships. We're the one that brings the warmth. We're the ones that create the alchemy of being able to evolve that experience of God with skin on in our lives. We have the ability to bring the warmth. We have the ability to evolve, to transmute whatever feels like suffering or pain into something that is a greater expression of love. Relationship sanity starts with us. Yeah. And relationships are only here to help us grow, to be conscious, not to bring us happiness. So, freedom in our relationships. I love this shot of the guy. He looks. That's what's inside, is that anger. You know, him looking in the mirror. He's very calm, but that inside anger, if you will. So we really need to just stop judging ourselves, because when we can stop judging ourselves in relationships, that we could have done something better, then we stop judging others. Always back to the beginning. It begins with us. In a relationship, there are not victims, there are not perpetrators. This is a joint agreement that you get into to do this dance, whatever that dance might be. You can actually express feelings without blaming. You know, you can feel angry or upset, but you don't have to blame the other person. This is just the response that you're having in that moment. And yes, it takes practice. It will probably take practice for the rest of our lives. I don't know anybody that's got by that totally without blaming. And that love is a state of being that cannot be lost. It's not a faucet that turns on and off. It's the ultimate thing of who we are. Think about it. Sunlight is not selective. Sunlight shines on those dandelions as much as it shines on the maple trees, as much as it shines on the rose bushes. It's the same way with love. Love is not selective. It's that incredible power. And our ability to love is reflected back to us. And some people reflect love more clearly than others. That's all. That is all the difference is. Some just reflect love more clearly. Or for some, we can see the love more clearly than others. Sometimes we're wearing pretty dark glasses on that. We always have the choice. We can mirror the pain or we can mirror the love. So that bottom line of relationships, we can't change the other person. God knows we've tried. Is anybody successful? And we can't speed up our own transformation. We are where we're at the right place at the right time. And this is a growth thing. But what we can do is create space for that transmutation, for that clear vision of love, for that clear feeling of oneness in our space. So remember, relationships are not here to make us happy. They're here to make us conscious. So with that, let's go into meditation and get a little conscious of ourselves. Sacred. Please sing along.
How would I treat myself if I knew I was sacred? How would I love myself if nothing was wrong? I'd be in this moment, enjoying what's inside, and sing to the world a glorious song. How would you treat yourself if you knew you were sacred? How would you love yourself if nothing was wrong? You'd be in this moment, enjoying what's inside, and sing to the world a glorious song.
I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. You close your eyes and allow that focus of attention to move from this magnificent, brilliant outer world into that wonderful, infinite inner space. Our bodies relax as the attention moves from the outer to the inner. Our mind calms, for there is nothing to do in this moment, simply to be. As we journey into that last frontier, we so understand the idea of the force. For love truly is a force in this universe, a force that connects us, that heals us, that comforts us with compassion, that strengthens us with incentive. As we sit in that inner frontier space of love, we have thoughts of all the many, many relationships in our life, with our body, with food, or drink, or clothes, our home, our faith community, our family, our friends, our co-workers, all these multiple expressions of God with whom we have a reflective relationship. There may be one relationship that particularly stands out for you this morning. One that is deep and tender. One that is difficult and challenging. It matters not the nature of the relationship. For as we explore that last frontier, we understand that this perhaps is a part of our self that we are not even aware that we have. Sometimes that reflection is our deepest fears. Sometimes that reflection is our greatest joys. Sometimes that reflection is the challenges and concerns. Sometimes it's doors that open in a great world of possibilities. Whatever that relationship is that you may be contemplating this morning, in this moment, just release any resistance and allow that to be a true reflection, a touchstone to transmutation, to transformation, to truly be the expression of your brilliance in your resilience. For this growing awareness of this intimate process of love, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is.
How would we treat ourselves if we knew we were sacred? How would we love ourselves if nothing was wrong? We'd be in this moment, enjoying what's inside, and sing to the world a glorious song, and sing to the world a glorious song.
Okay, spiritual practice for the week. Let's affirm something together to get our juices going on this. Affirmation time together. I embrace all my relationships as a spiritual practice. I am willing to let go of any defensiveness or judgment. In my heart, I know that love draws only divine grace, harmony, and peace into my life. I practice the presence of now. And now I get to invite Greg to do a little seating again.
It's one of my favorites. I've been planting seeds on the ground, watering them with my sweat and tears, scattering them all around. Guess it's what I'm supposed to do with my years. Funny thing is, I may know what I've planted, but never what will show. It always seems to be a perfect mystery. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, was meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. Sometimes I still like to pretend I know what the harvest harvest will be. But I always find out in the end, it was never really up to me. Funny thing is, when I just do my work and simply trust, always seems a life is looking out for me. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, was meant to soar will soar. We are planting seeds, nothing more. And I'm only one of billions of seeds. When all is said and done, I just do what's mine to do and let it be. Now join with me on this. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, was meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, was meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, planting seeds. I am planting seeds, nothing more. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. Hey, do you guys know, what did Yoda ride when he was a kid? It was a do cycle, because there is no try. I've got some bad news, though. My wife said she's leaving me because I'm so obsessed with Star Wars. And I said, please don't go. You're the Obi-Wan for me. You think that worked? All right. Now is the time we create a sacred circle of generosity by acknowledging and sharing the blessings that we have received. Giving is a matter of heart, not wealth. If you are in person, you can place your love offerings in the glass jar on your table. Or everyone can use the QR code that's either on the table or on the screen and pay through PayPal. That works too. Whether or not you're sharing of financial gifts this week, we invite you to affirm the sacred exchange by placing your hand over your heart and by holding your gift. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. Our circle of generosity includes gratitude to everyone of you that support Unity with their loving gifts. Our circle of generosity grows even larger when we share those gifts with others. As a tithing ministry, a portion of our tithes is shared with local charitable organizations that inspire and bless us. For the second quarter of this year, we will be sharing with the Greater Lansing Food Bank and the Capital Area Humane Society. Both of these organizations do the much-needed work of helping to care for people with food insecurities and animals with home insecurities. Let us bless these organizations and affirm our blessings as we sing, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
All right, let us take a moment to deeply immerse ourselves in gratitude by collectively blessing the gifts received on your table. Let us affirm together.
Given in love, received in love, we dedicate these gifts to do the will and the work of Holy Spirit. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Derek. All right, Jessica Shelton has worked as our office manager for the past 8 years. Following the birth of her daughter, Isabel, in the end of January, Jessica has decided not to return to her office work here, and instead to explore other options of her heart's desires, along with her husband, Will, and her 2 sons, Eli and Orion. We want to thank her for her years with Unity, through the fire, COVID, the move, and more. If you'd like to send her a note, there are 2 cards that Sharon has started circulating. Yep, sign those. Jane Clues is now our acting administrative assistant and bookkeeper. Thank you, Jane, for stepping into this role. Really, thank you. All right. In reviewing our administrative needs, the board and minister have determined with need on an assistant on Sundays. There are details in the Unity Pulse. If you're interested, send an email by Monday, please. We could use some help. And there's some more details up there. All right. In honor of Mother's Day, the Greater Lansing Food Bank is one of your congregate's choice for this second quarter. Besides sharing of our tithes with this organization, in honor of Mother's Day, we are also collecting food for the food bank. More details are in the Unity Pulse on your tables. Pick those up. They've got lots of great information. Following service today is a meeting of A Course in Miracles in the Upper Lodge. Carol and Dan Maynard will be discussing the Heralds of Eternity from the course. And everyone is welcome. Next Saturday is the monthly meeting of the All-Inclusive Women's Group. They meet in the Upper Lodge at 3 p.m., and everyone who identifies as a woman is welcome. Let's see. On your tables are copies of the May Unity Pulse with more details of the many events, and there are many. We don't have time to go through all of them in the service, so really, there's lots in there. There's also a special edition of The Passion of the Creative Mind with details of the many experiences being offered. Take one with you and share it with a friend. We want this to get out to people. We had a great grand opening on Thursdays for the art gallery, and you're welcome to drop by the gallery Fridays and Saturdays to check out all of the artwork that's here. It's really quite fabulous. And you can check the hours in the special newsletter. Fridays and Saturdays, that's what I said. You can always check unity.lansing.org for the latest info, or sign up for the weekly e-news to keep current on what's happening at Unity. And there is so much. All right, following service, pray practitioners are available to pray with you one-on-one. And wow, what a service. Prayer practitioners will be gathering right up here by the lectern, and you can identify them because they're wearing purple. Well, not all purple, just a scarf, yeah. Stole, scarf, yeah. All that. All right, let's create a consciousness of community as we sing, I Choose Love, followed by the prayer of protection. You can feel free to stand in place or join the circle around the back. And remember, be respectful when taking someone else's hand. Sometimes you can just touch elbows or whatever. We still have germs flying around. And we don't want to share those.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present. It's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace on the planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. We choose love. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Thank you.